Hello guys, welcome to my channel Code Without Complexity. Today we will solve the Leetcode question number 696, count binary substrings. So in this question we have given a string S and we have to return the number of non-empty substrings which have the same number of zeros and ones. And there is a condition that all zeros and all ones in this substring should be grouped consecutively. What does that mean? Is let's say we have an example 0011. So in this example, zeros are grouped consecutively and ones are grouped consecutively. The order might change, like 1 1 and 00 can be change its position, but the consecutiveness of number should be there. And the count should also be equal. Like we have two ones here and two zeros here. Then this will be a valid substring, and we have to return the number of total valid substring. Let's go through the example. The first example is 00110011. This is our example number one. So how many substrings will be generated from this string S? The first substring I can observe is this, where the count of 0 is 2 and the count of 1 is 2, and the zeros are grouped consecutively and ones are grouped consecutively. So this will be our first substring, and we can see that this is another substring which is following the same pattern. It has two zeros and two ones, and every number is grouped consecutively. So this is our second substring. Now, if we will closely observe that this 0 and 1 is also a valid substring. Why? Because it has equal number of 0, which is 1, and equal number of 1s, which is again 1. And they are grouped consecutively. Like the 0 is in left and the 1 is in right. So this will be our valid substring, and the the same pattern is followed in this substring 1 0. The 1 is in left and the zeros are in right, and the count of both is 1. So 1 0 will be our valid substring. And the fifth substring we can observe is this 0 1, which is repeating by the way, but the question says that the substring that occurs multiple times will be counted as the number of time they occurred. That means that we will add this in result. So 0 1 substring will be added in the result. And if we will closely observe, then we can see that this substring is also following the same pattern 1100. The all ones are in left and all zeros are in right, and the count of 1 is 2 and the count of 0 is 2. So this substring is also following the same pattern. So there will be in total six substrings. So the result will be 6 and the output is 6. So let's go through the approach to solve this question. So first we will count consecutive numbers two times. Like let's say we have number 0 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1. We have this example over here, and first point is we will count consecutive numbers and two times. So all these three zeros are consecutive numbers, and this is our first time that we have calculated consecutive number. And the second consecutive number is double one, and it's second time that we have calculated the consecutive number. So next step is, and when second sequence will end, we will update. So when second sequence is ending, after this 1, the 0 is there. So the second sequence will end here. So we have two sequence, and what we will update? We will update equal count of 0, 1 in both the sequence such that equal number of 0, 1 will be added in the result. What does that mean? We have three zeros and two ones. So if we have to create a pattern, we have to take two one and two zeros. We can't take three zeros. Why? If we will take this third zero, then the count will be mismatched. The count of zeros is 3 here and the count of 1 is 2. To make the pattern, we need the count of 0 and 1 same. So we will take only these two zeros and this ones, and we will make pattern of 0011. So this will be our first valid substring, and find next, and next step is find next sequence. After that we will find next sequence where the numbers will be consecutively grouped. So the next sequence we can observe is this two zeros. So this is our third sequence, and we have already take minimum of these two. Like if we have two ones and three zeros, we will take the minimum out of these two. So we have taken the minimum of these two and we have added this in the our result variable. So two will be added here. And now we have the third sequence of 0 where the count of 0 is 2. So if we will take the second and third sequence 1 1 and 0 0 where the count of 1 is 2 and the count of 0 is 2, such that they have equal count and the numbers are grouped, the consecutive numbers are grouped together, then this is again our valid pattern, and we will take the minimum out of it. So we will again take 2. Why we are taking minimum out of it? Because in this sequence 1 1 0 0, as you can closely see that this is a single pattern, and inside this there is another pattern of 1 0. If we will talk about this particular substring 0011, this whole substring is following a valid pattern, and if we will closely observe, then 01 is again following the same pattern. So that's why the answer 2 is coming out, and we are taking the minimum values in both the sequences. And after that, we will count new sequence. This will be our fourth sequence where the count of 1 is 2. So if we will take the third and fourth sequence, it will be 0011, and we have two 1 in the right and two zeros in the left, such that they have same count, and the numbers are grouped consecutively, such that we will add the minimum out of this. So we will add 2 in the result. Why 2? Because 0011 is following pattern, and inside that substring 01 again following the same pattern. So we have added 2, and in total we will get the sixth answer because there is no such pattern left to count the result. So our total answer will be 6. Let's write the pseudocode for this question. So first we will take a variable named previous, and it will be 0 initially, and after that we will take a variable named as current count, and value we will put here is 1, and after that we will take another variable named result where we will store our result, and initially it will be 0. So first for loop where we will take int I and we will start the I from 1, first index, and I will go up to n, and I will be incremented. So we will directly put the condition where, let's say we have a sequence 0, 0, 0, and 1. So we will count the current count will tell the count of the sequence we are currently calculating, and previous will store the previous number of the previous count of numbers. And if we see a new number which is not equal to the previous one, then the condition will hit and we will compare the previous sequence with current sequence. So if s dot char at I is not equal to its previous number I minus 1, what does that mean? That if this current element 1 is not matching with the previous element, then we will stop and we will take the minimum of previous and current sequence. So if this condition hits, then we will add the minimum of these two, minimum of previous sequence and current sequence. Since initially we have the previous sequence 0, then the result will be 0 initially, and when we will found a new sequence of 1, this will be our previous sequence and this will be our current sequence. So after that we will take the minimum of these two. So the minimum value of these two is 2. So in the result we will store only 2. So that's why when this condition will hit, we will update our result and we will update our previous also. Previous value will be the current count. And if this condition will not hit, we will directly update our current count such that it will count the same number. And in last, we will return our result. And there is a another edge case that anyone can miss. Like we have a sequence 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. So this will be our first sequence, this will be our second sequence, this will be our third sequence. So these two sequences will be compared when we will reach here. And after the end of this string, there is no such further number. So this condition will never hit at the last, such that these last two sequences will never be compared. So we have to take this edge case separately and add in our answer. So we will separately add minimum of previous and current count. When we will reach the last of this string, the current value will be 3 and the previous value will be 2. So we will take the minimum of these two. So this is our pseudocode. Let's talk about the time complexity of this question. So the time complexity will be order of n because we have used only one for loop, and the space complexity will be order of 1 because we have not used any space. So let's go on Leetcode and solve this question in Java. Let's solve this question. First, we will take a variable named n where we will store the length of the string, and after that we will take a variable named previous. The initial value will be 0, and again we will take another variable named current count and initial value will be 1. And after that, we will create a variable named result where we will store our result. So let's start iteration. We will run a for loop int I, and I will start from 1. I will go till n. I will be incremented. And at the first step, we will check if the number at I is not equal to its previous number will be I minus 1, then this condition will hit and we will update our result by adding the minimum of math.min of previous sequence, and we will take the minimum of our previous sequence and the current count, and we will update our previous variable with current count, and in last we will directly return our result with the edge case by taking the minimum of last two sequence current count. Let's run this test cases. This test case is failing. The code is giving one wrong case. Okay, we have to put an else condition here by incrementing the current count. If it's equal, then the current count will be incremented. Let's run the example test cases. All the example test cases are passed. Let's submit this. So the code is giving us 87% runtime. Thank you for watching, guys.